And for our final story for this week's edition of the Rolling Stone, we're jumping back to the United States to talk about the Oscars, which also happened this past week. I did not watch them, and neither did millions and millions of people. This actually was the lowest ratings that the Oscars have ever had. They had less than 10 million people watching, which, I mean, completely makes sense. It completely makes sense that so few people watch because, A, they were all being done electronically. A lot of the actors, actresses, etc., the people in the business weren't even there at the Academy. They weren't there because, of course, COVID restrictions and safety protocols, etc., but because people also knew that they were going to get the same thing that they have gotten last year and the year before that and the year before that, which is woke politics. I forget who it was. She was accepting her award and said, one day, black trans women will be accepting awards and it won't be unusual or unique. It'll just be normal. It's like, what does this have to do with you being awarded an Oscar? It has absolutely nothing to do with it. But there was one thing that happened which did make me happy when I read about it the next day. I am a huge fan. I am a fanatical fan of Sir Anthony Hopkins, the 83-year-old acting titan from South Wales. The Lion in Winter, Magic, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Meet Joe Black, let's see, whatever, The Edge with Alec Baldwin, The Mask of Zorro for crying out loud. Some people might have seen him as Thor. He was in Thor. He was Odin, Allfather. I mean, so many wonderful movies. He is honestly one of the only truly great actors alive today, and it's a very small list of people. Anthony Hopkins is on that list. Gary Oldman, I would put on that list. I actually just saw Gary Oldman in The Darkest Hour, and I tell you, Gary Oldman completely deserved that Academy Award that he won for Best Actor for that performance, because that performance was phenomenal. You never saw Gary Oldman. You just saw Winston Churchill. Is there anyone else? I might put Christian Bale on that list as well. I would not say that he is up to Gary Oldman or definitely not Anthony Hopkins' heights, but he has the makings of that. He is a dedicated and a terrific actor. Other than those three, I can't really think of anyone else offhand. There are tons of actors that I enjoy, but there are very, very few that I would say are actually great. Anthony Hopkins is one of those few. And he's been doing movies forever. I mean, I think if it wasn't his first movie, one of his first movies was The Lion in Winter, which was made 67, I think. And his co-stars in that movie were Peter O'Toole and Katharine Hepburn, the Katharine Hepburn, and Peter O'Toole. Giants of their age. And I think Anthony Hopkins was about 30. He wasn't any older than 30. And he's acting, a co-star alongside O'Toole and Hepburn. Phenomenal. And he holds his own in that movie. He holds his own. Oh, by the way, that movie also has a very, very young Timothy Dalton. And Timothy Dalton is great too. But anyway, at this whatever number of Oscar ceremony that it was, Anthony Hopkins was nominated and he won the Oscar for Best Actor for his movie The Father, which I have not seen yet. I have to. But he plays an elderly man who is fighting memory loss and dementia. And people have been saying that it is hands down his best role, which is saying something, because every role that he is in, I have found memorable, I have found great. Just for example, Bram Stoker's Dracula is not a good movie from a storytelling perspective or even from an acting perspective, which is really weird because there are a lot of good actors in that movie. Gary Oldman is in that movie. He plays Count Dracula. Richard E. Grant is in that movie. Cary Elwes is in that movie. Billy Campbell is in that movie. All, adequate actors or good actors, whether they're character actors or otherwise. Gary Oldman, of course, like I just said, is phenomenal. I mean, he's a grade A actor as well. It's not a good movie. It's a very good technical movie. I love the practical effects. I love the camera work in that movie, but it is not in a whole a good movie. But I have a copy of that movie and I watch it every October. Why? Because Anthony Hopkins is the best Professor Abraham Van Helsing that has ever been on the screen. And I'm a huge fan too of Peter Cushing, and Peter Cushing played Professor Van Helsing in the old Hammer Dracula movies with Christopher Lee, whom I also love. So if I say that Anthony Hopkins is the best Van Helsing, that he beats out Peter Cushing, from me, that's saying something. So, phenomenal performance. But this is 2021, gang, so the fact that Sir Anthony Hopkins, won the Oscar for Best Actor means that there was a hue and cry. There was outrage among the woke. Because, of course, when are the woke not outraged? And they were outraged because Chadwick Bosman, the actor who probably is best known to contemporary audiences for playing Black Panther in the Marvel movies. That's Chadwick Boseman. And he tragically died, I believe, last year or 2 years ago at only 43 of cancer, which again is a tragedy. Okay? No one should die at 43 from cancer. No one should die of cancer in a perfect world. But Chadwick Bosman had also been nominated for Best Actor, and a lot of people were assuming that Chadwick Bosman was just going to win that award. Apparently, he did a very good job in the movie that he was nominated for, which was Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, a movie that I have not seen. But I think also, too, they thought that he was automatically going to win because he had passed away. It must have been last year, because he was nominated this year, so he must have died last year. Yes, Chadwick Boseman died last year, 2020. That was stupid of me. Yes, so don't write in the comments, you idiot. Of course, he would have had to have died last year. I know, I just corrected myself. But there were two other reasons why a lot of people thought that he was just going to be a shoo-in. He died last year under tragic circumstances, and I'm just going to say it, he was black. So you have a young, talented, obviously, black actor who died at 43 of cancer. Everyone thought that not only was he going to be nominated, they thought he was going to win. And I think that a lot of people in the Academy assumed that he was going to win too, because this is actually a legitimate complaint. Usually, the way this thing is set up, from the little that I have been told, is that the last category that is announced at the Oscars is Best Picture. Everything leads up to Best Picture. But whoever was in charge of conducting the Oscars this year, they moved it. The last category to be announced was Best Actor. Obviously, because they thought, oh, of course, Chadwick Boseman is going to win, so we can end on this great note. We can show everyone how woke and diversified we are. And then, of course, their plan basically blew up right in their hands because Anthony Hopkins won. So the night ended with this 83-year-old Welsh acting titan winning the award instead. And the woke were furious. So here were just some of the outrages listed on social media. This is from USA Today. Comedian at Cyrus M. McQueen couldn't believe the outcome, tweeting, quote, "A dying man gives the performance of a lifetime, the last performance of his lifetime, leaves it all up there, and you don't give him the trophy? Writer Key Brown said Bosman, quote, doesn't deserve whatever bait and switch that was. His memory will be honored regardless. If I can get this moving up. MSNBC's Joy Reid, of course, said that the Oscars had a Game of Thrones style ending, adding, quote, Andra Day and Chadwick Bosman were robbed. Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas. This is how ridiculous it is. The mayor of Kansas City is tweeting about the Oscars. About how unfair it is that one actor didn't get the trophy. The Mayor Lucas, said, quote, respect to Anthony Hopkins, liar. But the Academy whiffed. Chadwick Bosman as Leaves Green will be remembered well into the future. I honestly don't know about that. I mean, honestly ask yourself, how many people have heard of the movie Ma Rainey's Black Bottom? I had never heard of it until I was actually reading the nominees for the Academies, and they said Chadwick Boseman had been nominated for his role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and I was like, what? I've never even heard of this movie. When I thought of Chadwick Boseman, and of course, before I was familiar with his name, I'd be like, Chadwick Boseman, who is he? And then someone would inevitably have to say, oh, he's Black Panther. Oh, okay, that guy. Okay, that actor. Okay, now I know who we're talking about. Okay, so I don't think that movie will be remembered well into the future. I think that Chadwick Boseman is going to be remembered as Black Panther, which again, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with playing a beloved Marvel character. Nothing wrong with that. But the mayor of Kansas City is overreaching there. And again, what ties all of this in together, gang, is the sense of privilege that it just reeks from all of these tweets. The fact that all of these people thought that Chadwick Boseman deserved it. Not because he simply gave a terrific performance, but because he was a black man who tragically died at 43 years old. That should have sealed the deal? No, because at that point, the Academies don't mean anything. They are just part of a social woke system. They're bartering chips at that point. And that's basically what they've become as of this point. The Academy hands out these Oscars to prove that they are woke, that they are diversified. Everyone was praising. One thing that really ticked people off too is because they said, oh my gosh, the Academies have been doing so well because they have been nominating women, they have been nominating, women have been winning, Asians have been winning, black people have been winning in all these different categories, and then you end it by giving it to a white guy. That's what really ruined it for them too. But to get back on point, the Academy now simply hands out Oscars to show its diversification, to show its wokeness, and then these people accept them because then that boosts their own clout in the business. Well, what are your credentials? Oh, well, I have an Oscar. Oh, well, you're a serious screenwriter, sound editor, director, actor, actress. Editor, I think I meant to mention editor. Well, sound editor, but editor, regular editor, cinematographer. Okay, well then, we'll hire you or we'll pitch you the job. That's what it's been reduced to. It's not about actually celebrating merit and art, which is what an award is supposed to do. Merit and or art or knowledge. Those are what awards are supposed to do. That's what they are supposed to show. But the Academy now has completely hollowed that out. Everything now must be political. Everything. Now, to their credit, I have to end on this positive note. Which I should, say, then what use are they? That's another reason, again, why nobody watched the Oscars. But as I had to point out, to a couple of people on social media when they were rhetorically asking Hollywood, you want us to watch the Oscars, then, quit this out. I was like, they don't have to quit it because they're growing roots in China. Their main audience now is overseas. They don't give a damn if only 5 people watch the Academy because then it's not for us. It's not for us. There used to be a sense of responsibility, I believe, when people like Bob Hope, Fred Astaire, when they were Gregory Peck, Jimmy Stewart, when they were present, when they were being the MC. There was a sense of responsibility, like, okay, this is where we, basically honor people in our business, but this is also because we are such well known in the public. Because we entertain the public, this also has to be a show for the public. So, we've got to entertain people, we got to keep it short and sweet, etc. That's all gone now. Hollywood doesn't care about you, the average American viewer. It doesn't, because it has billions and billions of viewers in China and everywhere overseas. It doesn't matter. So, good luck with Hollywood actually changing course so that people will actually watch again, because they don't care. So they also don't care that the academies have been completely hollowed out either. Again, it fits their purpose right now in our new wokeified, politicized, totalitarian society. But to end on the bright note, as I promised, Chadwick Bosman's family has been speaking out against the outrage against Anthony Hopkins. And I have to read this quote from Bosman's brother. This is from Newsweek. Speaking to TMZ, Derek Bosman said his brother would have been happy to congratulate Hopkins following his Sunday night win, and that he, quote, doesn't view Chadwick not winning an Oscar for Best Actor as a snub, because every nominated actor was excellent and deserving of the award. Precisely, Mr. Bosman, precisely. Every actor, in theory at least, who was nominated for Best Actor were all deserving of the Oscar, but there can only be one winner. And so it comes down to, okay, we have these 3, 4, 5 contestants who are the best of the best. Now, who is the best of the best of the best? And that's when you really have to get down to the nitty gritty. So kudos to Bosman's family, because let's just say it out front. People like Joy Reid, people like the mayor of Kansas City, Quintus Lucas, people like Key Brown, and some other people whose outrages I read, they don't really, I don't think they really care that Chadwick Boseman didn't win the award, because what they're doing is that they are using now his corpse to buttress up their narrative that everything is infected with white supremacy. Because even something as left-wing, as ideological, as woke, as diversified as the Oscars have become, as proved again by the continually declining viewer rate for these things, if even that is still infested with white racism, white supremacy, then not only does that mean that you have to go even further to the left, but it also keeps your narrative alive that you are oppressed and that you are being downtrodden, when in fact the very fact that you are present at the Oscars means that things are not nearly as bad as your narrative says. But I have talked for far too long, gang, so I am wrapping it up there. Have a great weekend, stay safe, stay free, and I will see you again real soon. Ciao.